Hello everyone and welcome back to Desert Sports YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the round 3 results of Super Rugby Pacific 2026. So we had 5 games this week, 5 interesting games. As you know, I streamed 2 of those games. I streamed the Hurricanes versus Fiji and drew a game. Man, that was a brilliant game except for the wet conditions in Fiji, and I also streamed the Chiefs versus Crusaders game, which would probably be for me was probably the game of the round. But yeah, all the 5 games were cool. We saw the Force beat Moana Pacifica. We saw the Reds beating the Highlanders, which was surprising. We saw the Fijian Drua beating the Hurricanes on home soil. Congrats to the Fijian Drua. We saw the Chiefs beat the Crusaders, and we saw the Brumbies score a last-minute try to beat the Blues. But in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing all those games, so don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button. So let's go through the first game. So first game on Friday night was Moana Pacifica versus the Force. And what a game it was. The Force beating Moana Pacifica 35 points to 19. So this is how the game went. So the game got underway, and 6 minutes into the game, Dan Lancaster from the Force scores a try with Donaldson getting it over to make it 7-0. So 7 minutes gone in the game, the Force were leading 7-0 against Moana Pacifica. Then in the 20th minute, Sana Revi scores a try for Moana to make Moana score their first try of the game, kept going over. So with 19 minutes left in the first half, it was 7-all between the Moana Pacifica and the Force. Then in the 33rd minute, Darcy Swain scores a try for the Force with Donaldson going 2 for 2 for conversion. So the Force get back their 7-point lead. So it's 14-7 to the Force. And then just before halftime, former Crusaders player George Bridge scores a try with Donaldson getting the conversion over to make the halftime score 21-7 to the Force against Moana Pacifica. And then so basically Moana Pacifica were behind by 14 points at halftime. Then the second half got underway, and for the first 20 minutes of the second half, no points were scored. But in the 62nd minute, Tizano scores a try for the Force. So it was the third try for the Force in that game. Plus, Donaldson goes to 4 for 4 conversions. So the Force had a lead 28 points to 7 with 17 minutes left in this game. So the Moana Pacifica, they needed to lock in for the last 17 minutes. But sadly, in the 70th minute, Oviedo scores a try for the Force to seal the game, with Donaldson going 5 for 5, 4 conversions to make it 35 points to 7 with 9 minutes left in the game. And in the 76th minute, Matova scores a try for Moana Pacifica to give Moana Pacifica their second try of the game to make it 35-14, with Jackson Garden Basher kicking the conversion over. And then just before they ended the game, Craig scores a try to make it third try for Moana Pacifica, with Jackson Garden Basher getting the kick over for the Force to win 35 points to 19. But Moana, they got a late surge at the end of that game, scoring 2 tries in the last 5 minutes of the game. But the Force beating Moana Pacifica by 35 points to 19. And then the next game after that was a late Friday night game. We saw the Reds host the Highlanders, and the Reds beating the Highlanders 31 points to 14. What an entertaining game. I thought the Highlanders were going to win this game, but the Reds, they come in clutch and upset the Highlanders. So this is how the game went. So the game got underway. In the first 15 minutes, nothing really happened. Like no sort of points were scored. But it took 18 minutes for one of these teams to score a try. McWright scores a try for the Reds. Plus, Wertron gets the conversion over to make it 7-0 to the Reds, with 20 minutes gone in this game and 20 minutes left in the first half. And in the 22nd minute, Fasola scores a try for the Reds to give the Reds a 12-0 lead with 12 minutes left in the first half. Then the 31st minute, Taylor scores a try for the Highlanders, with Miller getting the conversion over to make it 12-7. So the Highlanders cut down the lead, and the Reds now only lead by 5. And in the 35th minute, the Reds scored their third try of the game. Ryan scores the try for the Reds, plus Wertron gets the conversion over to make the Reds lead 19 points to 7 with 4 minutes left in the first half. And then at halftime, the score was 19-7 to the Reds on an absolute perfect first half from the Reds. The Reds scoring 3 tries in the first half. The Highlanders scoring 1. And then, so basically, the Highlanders, they need to work on the second half. And then the second half got underway. And in the 52nd minute, Casey scores a try for the Highlanders, and the Highlanders are back in this game with Cam Miller getting the conversion over. So it's 19 points to 14. Highlanders only down by 5. And then 5 minutes later, the Highlanders score another try. Sol Kalata Loto scores a try for the Highlanders. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. With Cam Miller missing. Wait, sorry, never mind. The Highlanders score a try, sorry. In the 57th minute, the Reds score a try, sorry. I have here that the Highlanders scored a try in the 57th minute, but it's wrong, actually, sorry. The Reds score a try in the 57th minute, but they missed the conversion, so the Reds are now at a 10-point lead with 22 minutes left in this game. So basically, the Highlanders, they were a bit under pressure. But then in the 62nd minute, to seal the win, Latu scores a try for the Force, plus Campbell gets the conversion over to make the Reds upset the Highlanders 31 points to 14. And then we move on to the 3 Saturday games, the 3 games to end an absolute fantastic round 3. We saw the Fijian draw versus my team, the Hurricanes, and sadly, my Hurricanes leave. The Fijian draw upsetting the Hurricanes on home soil, 25 points to 20. The Fijian draw beating the Hurricanes. So it was a bit of a wet, and the field was was pretty not that great, but it was in wet, rainy conditions. So this is how the game went. So 6 minutes into the game, draw get a penalty, and Armstrong Avula gets it over to give the Fijian draw a 3-0 lead against the Hurricanes. And then in the 12th minute, Fainga Nofo scores his try. That's his 3rd try in the first 2 games for the Hurricanes this season. Fainga Nofo should be a future All Black, and I'm calling it right here and right now with Geordie Barrett getting the conversion. With Geordie Barrett missing the conversion, so the Hurricanes have the lead by 2, 5 points, 2-3 with 13 minutes gone in this game. And then in the 25th minute, Peter Larkai scores a try in the 30th minute, Murray scores a try for the Fijian draw. I'm just so excited that I'm getting the teams right. I'm just so excited because it was just an awesome round 3. So Murray scores a try for the Fijian draw Peter Larkai scores a try for the I'm getting mistaken. I'm just too excited. Peter Larkai scores a try for the Hurricanes to make it 10-3, but Geordie Barrett misses the conversion. And in the 30th minute, Murray scores a try for the Fijian draw with Armstrong Avula getting the conversion over. So with 9 minutes left in the first half, the Fijian draw are leading the Hurricanes 10. It was 10-all, just 10-all. It was just absolutely amazing. And in the 33rd minute, my boy, former St. Pat's Town, Billy Proctor scores a try with Geordie Barrett finally getting conversion over. So the Hurricanes were back to a 7-point lead with 6 minutes left in the first half. Come on, baby. Come on. And then in the 39th minute, Moana get a penalty, and Armstrong Avula gets it over to make the Hurricanes lead at halftime by 17 points to 13. And then the second half got underway, and in the 49th minute, the Hurricanes get a penalty, and Geordie Barrett hits over a 50-metre kick. Geordie Barrett gives the Hurricanes a 7-point lead, 20 points to 13, baby. 20 points to 13. But then 1 minute later, Samu Vondrai, sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, scores a try for the Fijian draw to make it 20 points to 18, with Armstrong Avula getting the conversion over to make it 20-all with 30 minutes left in this game. It was back to 20-all. This was going to end in a tight match, baby. Tight match. And then in the 67th minute, Waka scores a try for the Fijian draw with Armstrong Avula missing the conversion. So the Fijian draw upsetting my team, the Hurricanes, 25 points, the 20. What a game that was in Fiji, man. Even with the poor weather conditions, the players That was just an absolute entertaining game. And then the next game was an even more entertaining game. It was the Chiefs versus the Crusaders. And surprisingly, the defending champs get their first win of the season. The Crusaders beating the Chiefs 43 points to 33. 43 points to 33. The Crusaders beating the Chiefs. It was a high-scoring, absolute thriller. And also, I broke my chair in that live stream. It was just so entertaining that I broke my chair. I was literally leaning back and then the chair just broke. But basically, this is how the game ended. So 5 minutes into the game, Quincy Pire scores a try with Jacob getting the conversion over to make it 7-0. Then 3 minutes later, and then Nana Isachota scores a try to give the Chiefs a 14-0 lead, and Josh Jacobs was 2 for 2 for the Crusaders. But in the 19th minute, George Bow scores a try with Kemada scoring the conversion over. So it's 14-7, Crusaders back in this game. And then Samasoni Tokiaho scores a try 3 minutes later in the 22nd minute with the Chiefs going 3 for 3 with conversions. So the Chiefs were back to a 14-point lead, 21 points to 7. And then Hotham scores a try for the Crusaders in the 26th minute to make it back to a 7-point game, 21 points to 14. And then 3 minutes later, Christian Leo Willie scores his first try of the game with the Crusaders coming back to make the scores level 21-all with 10 minutes left in the first half. And then just before halftime, the Crusaders get a penalty and they get it over to make it 24-21 to the Crusaders at halftime. Absolutely incredible game of freaking rugby in the first half. Absolute incredible. Literally, the Chiefs were leading 14-0 for the first 8 minutes of the game, but then the Crusaders crawl back and they lead at halftime 24 points to 21. Then the second half got underway, and in the 52nd minute, Christian Leo Willie scores a try with Kevin getting conversion over, so the Crusaders extend their lead to 29 points to 21. Sorry, I think they missed the conversion, but 29 points to 21. The Crusaders get the conversion. Missed the conversion. Then in the 58th minute, David Havili scores a try to make it 36 points to 21. So the Crusaders were currently making the score, was currently putting the Chiefs under pressure with 30 minutes left in the game. And in the 75th minute, Hotham gets a yellow card for the Crusaders. So the Crusaders were down to 14 men for the rest of the game. And then in the 73rd minute, with that yellow card in the 73rd minute, Tupavai scores a try with Josh Jacobs getting conversion over to make it 43 points to 28 to the Crusaders, with the Chiefs having 6 minutes to try and win this game. And then just before the game ended, in the 79th minute, Nadawa scores a try with Jacobs sadly missing the conversion, but it wasn't enough for the Chiefs. The Crusaders getting their first win of the season, 43 points to 31. And then the last game of an entertaining round 3, we saw the Brumbies versus the Blues. The Brumbies hosting it in Canberra against the Blues. What a game. The Brumbies winning 30 points to 27 in another high-scoring game. So this is how the game went. So in the 8th minute, Meredith scores a try for the Brumbies, with Meredith getting his own conversion over to make it 7-0 to the Brumbies. And then in the 12th minute, Caleb Clark scores a try with Stephen Pettiford getting conversion over to make it 7-0 with 13 minutes gone in this game. And then the Brumbies get a penalty in the 16th minute, and Lonergan scores a penalty over to make it 10-7 to the Brumbies. And in the 22nd minute, Pollard scores a try for the Brumbies' second try of the game, with Lonergan missing the conversion, so the Brumbies were leading by 8, 15 points to 7. And then in the 27th minute, Pettiford gets a penalty over for the Blues to make it a 5-point game, 15-10 Brumbies. Then in the 30th minute, AJ Lamb scores a try for the Blues to make it to make the level 15-all. Then Stephen Pettiford had a conversion to take the lead, but he misses it. So at halftime, it was all level 15-all at halftime between the Brumbies and Blues. Then the second half got underway, and early in the second half, in the 43rd minute, Lonergan gets a penalty over to give the Brumbies back the lead, 18 points to 15. The Brumbies leading over the Blues. And then in the 51st minute, Caleb Clark scores a try to give the Blues the lead, 22 points to 18 with a 4-point game. Stephen Pettiford getting the conversion over. Then in the 63rd minute, Sorry, I'm getting confused. And then in the 63rd minute, the Blues score a try. Dalton Papali'i scores a try to make it 27-18 with 16 minutes left to go. And then in the 71st minute, Stephen Petafeta gets a yellow card. So the Blues were down to 14 men for the last 9 minutes of this game. And in the 72nd minute, with that, Raymer scores a try for the Brumbies with Edmund missing a conversion. So now the Brumbies were only down by 4 points with 7 minutes to go. And then at the end of the game, just before the game end, Kale goes over the line to give the Brumbies a massive win in Canberra. 30 points to 27. The Brumbies score a last-minute try against the Blues for the Brumbies to beat the Blues 30 points to 27. And what into round three? What an end to round three. We got 5 absolute amazing games. It was just an amazing round three. All I get to say, that's why I was so entertaining in this. That's why I was so hyped for this video, because it was just an absolute amazing round three. But thanks everyone so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, guys.